Hello folks, today is Friday, March 19th, 2021. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news stuff that has been going on this week. And I feel like it's been a pretty busy week. We have a lot to talk about. We got stuff for all the consoles, everything, whatever you play on, we got something to talk about. So let's just jump into all of it. The first thing is some snippets of Halo Infinite news. I know some people have been chomping at the bit for that, especially since it went kind of dark after last year. Well, the developers 343 had a panel style thing live streamed, and we got some new little snippets of information from it. I'm going to link all the sources down in the description below, but Twisted Voxel did a great breakdown of some of the new information. A lot of this is just relating to some of the gameplay mechanics and the systems in the world and levels in the game. They once again reiterated a day and night cycle that will have weather systems, and apparently this day and night cycle will affect enemy placement throughout the areas. Like there will be phantoms with searchlights, the grunts are going to sleep at night more often, you'll see less of them. There aren't going to be hostile wildlife in the game, but there are going to be wildlife out in the areas. And this is something that still a lot of people are missing. This isn't completely new news. We have known this in the past, but it's making headlines again. It's not an open world game. 343 has confirmed that it is not open world. It is more inspired by the levels like, one of the main early big ones, Silent Cartographer. And they have also emphasized that this is in many ways still a fairly linear game, despite some side objectives, but you're going to be centered in specific areas. The one that we've seen highlighted so far is called Pacific Northwest. And these areas are essentially designed to invite different approaches to your objective. While your main objective is a linear single player thing that you're going to have to do, the bigger environments are going to encourage you approaching it in however you want. They also outlined that elites are not going to be playable and that there isn't dual wielding in the game. Are people freaking out about that? I don't know. I'm a little bit more of like an old school Halo player. I thought that was something that was really cool starting from Halo 2. Just a quick first story, some little details and updates, maybe like an appetizer. Very curious to hear what you guys are thinking about Halo Infinite and how things are kind of starting to roll out. What do you want to hear from next? I expect more news to drop soon, but let us know what you think.
This just broke, by the way.
What's up?
Gotham Knights delayed 2022.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Breaking news, Gotham Knights delayed to 2022. Another one bites the dust. Now let's change gears over to the Bethesda Game Studios side. And Starfield, something that we've been talking about for a long time. This is Bethesda's next game, hot off the heels of Skyrim, which, fun fact, Skyrim released 15 years ago today.
Did it?
No, it's just how long it feels.
Yeah, it does.
So Starfield sounds cool. It seems more and more like this is going to be, at least on console, exclusive to Xbox. This is more, for me, a PC game. We'll see how that stuff goes down the line. But the newest news is that some inside reporters are suggesting that we could possibly see this game revealed around E3 time this year for it to then launch holiday season 2021. This is coming from VentureBeat's very own Jeff Grubb, friend of the show. He's gotten some things very right before. He tends to catch wind of things, and he's suggesting that that's how it's apparently going to roll out, similar to how they've done stuff like Fallout 4, where they finally reveal the game, and then they say, hey, it's out this fall. I prefer that type of hype release schedule type thing. I'm very curious to see how that's going to go down now that ZeniMax and Bethesda is owned by Xbox. Can they continue to keep that hype cycle? We shall see. Also, there is still a big asterisk in the air with what Jeff Grubb said, that, obviously the pandemic has affected development, so that could change the expected release for this holiday season. I would still very much like to see it. That will be a nice big surprise, a big old Bethesda RPG to jump into, even though everybody hates Bethesda now, right? Still, sci-fi RPG, I welcome those types of things, and I'm willing to see it when it's ready. I think that's something that we could say about all games in development right now. Don't rush. Take your time. Make it good. We have actually a lot more of those types of things to talk about in a sec. Next up, this episode is brought to you by Dr. Squatch. Is he a real doctor? I don't know, but his soap is really good. Dr. Squatch soap is all natural and doesn't pack in any weird mystery chemicals or ingredients. It's transparent, simple, clean, effective soap that I've been using for a few weeks now. My first shower with it, immediately cast aside any doubts I had about, the all-natural thing. No, this soap is potent, man. And it smells really damn good. My favorite so far has been the Deep Sea Goat's Milk, but I've also tested Grapefruit IPA and Pine Tar, so they have a big variety of scents. And they all kind of have that good lingering scent after you shower, so you can be that person that smells good. That's what I've been lately, and I'm loving it. It's soap made right here in the United States, and Dr. Squatch stands by it. They say if it's not the best bar of soap you've ever used, money back, no questions asked. So if you want to check it out and smell really good, new customers can get 20% off orders of $20 or more if you go to drsquatch.com and use the coupon code DSC Gameranx20. So click the link in the description below, go clean yourself up, and thanks to Dr. Squatch for sponsoring this video. Next up, in some surprise news, PlayStation and Sony bought Evo. Yes, Evo is now owned by Sony Interactive Entertainment. This is wild. I just didn't see this coming. And it's just interesting that all these companies now are just buying shit up left and right, even if it's something kind of weird and off to the side like this. The Evolution Championship Series, as it's actually known as, is now owned by, it's like a joint thing between Sony and RTS. It's like this esports venture company. Apparently the founders are still going to be heavily involved in advising Evo stuff moving forward, and apparently this isn't going to just be like this like now exclusive to PlayStation thing. That of course I think remains to be seen as these plans are more outlined, but Evo is returning, I believe August. It's of course dubbed Evo Online, and it's gonna have fights for Tekken 7, Street Fighter 5, Mortal Kombat 11, and Guilty Gear Strive. PlayStation now owns Evo. What's next? Like McDonald's is gonna own Pac-Man or something? That was awful. It was a terrible... Don't. Just stop. Don't. Also, in case you missed it, Sony did announce a new version of their Play at Home initiative where they're kind of just giving out some access to some free games, especially because I feel like we could all use some free games right now. I say that, but like we could use free games anytime. This is a pretty good lineup of free stuff, especially when you consider the fact that you don't have to have PlayStation Plus, you don't have to be like a subscriber or anything like that. So you get Subnautica for free, a bunch of PlayStation VR games for free, The Witness, Abzu. Are they absolute AAA heavyweights? No, but I think they're damn solid games still. And since we're talking about these services and free available online games, not really on the free side, but if you have Xbox Game Pass, earlier this week, Microsoft announced that Outriders is coming to Xbox Game Pass day one. Specifically the Xbox version, not the PC version. As more of a PC player, I wish that the PC Game Pass got it, but that's besides the point. Outriders, day one, if you have an Xbox and you have Game Pass, you're going to be able to just play it there, which is a pretty big shift for that type of game. Didn't really expect that, especially considering it's kind of like a little bit of more of a tighter partnership that we've seen developing between Xbox, Microsoft, and Square Enix. Square Enix seems to now be playing ball with everyone quite a bit, so I'm curious to see if this is like better for this game, because Outriders was up there. Some people really like the demo. Some people thought it's just another games as a service game. Now, the way I look at it, I have the Game Pass, so yeah, at least I could check it out. Me as a player, just accessing it, just downloading it, I think like, what do I have to lose? Maybe that's what they were thinking in terms of Square Enix being like, put this on Game Pass. They were probably like, what do we have to lose? Still, it seems like we're still in the early days of what very much seems to be like this arms race of all these different companies ramping up, trying to offer new things, trying to make gutsier moves either way. It's kind of getting like a crazy shit show. It's fun to talk about. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think in the comments. Like, are you benefiting from all these companies trying to one up each other? And what do you think is next? That's what I want to hear from you guys. Let me know. Still a lot of console news. We also have PlayStation VR 2 news. Sony has been kind of trickling out official information here and there about it. Now we got an official look at the new updated controllers for PlayStation VR 2. As you probably know, PlayStation VR was a pretty top-selling VR headset, especially considering the space it's entering. The numbers are actually pretty good behind it, so I'm not surprised to see Sony going all in on it this much, but maybe it's just the way they're rolling out information is a little unconventional. But now we got a bunch of details on these controllers. They will be able to sort of track your fingers a little better. They are going to have features similar to the DualSense controller on PlayStation 5, good haptic feedbacks, built-in tracking. Honestly, this is a long time coming because even people who were into PlayStation VR, as a VR enthusiast, maybe I'm a snob because I use it on PC, but like the Move controllers sucked. A dedicated VR headset deserves its own dedicated controllers, and it's nice to see Sony finally doing that. Still, we don't have too much ideas about the timing or the launch of this thing or the headset itself. That's probably still a ways out, but it's something to keep an eye on if you're like me and you're into VR. But something I am really into, if you saw a video we put out earlier this week, I love Dying Light, and Dying Light 2 finally has a new update from developers. Essentially what they did was kind of put out this weird video saying, hey, we're still making the game, everything's fine. It's just taking a while. But they've also doubled down and reiterated that this is going to be a 2021 release. So that's cool. Again, I really think they should take their time. Don't rush. They acknowledged a bunch of people yelling at them in comment sections, which is someone who gets yelled at in comment sections constantly. I know how that feels. But, make your thing. Don't rush, guys. Still, I think the potential is high for us here at Gameranx. Me personally, too. Dying Light 2 is pretty high on our most anticipated list, so we're excited to see, hopefully, more news soon. That's what they said. We also got a Square Enix event giving us specifically just new Square Enix news. The Avengers game, they are still very much working on trying to fix that. I've seen a lot of Marvel fans kind of lobby for this game in interesting ways the last couple of weeks. They have revealed a new roadmap. We have also gotten a good new tease look at Black Panther. Still doesn't have a cape. I think in media there is a lack of representation for T'Challa with the cool cape, the OG Black Panther cape. That's just all I ever talk about. I'm sorry. It still seems like Avengers has a long way to go. I know a lot of people wrote it off. I'm still not convinced either, but seems like they're sticking with it. Square Enix didn't bail on it, unlike, how EA bailed on Anthem. We also got a big new reveal of a new Life is Strange game. They kind of teased that last week, like a third game. Now we officially know it is Life is Strange, True Colors, new character, new powers, whole new story, kind of an amped up presentation. It's a different developer. It seems like a bigger thing. I'm kind of hit or miss with the Life is Strange series. I know a lot of people really love it. This one seems interesting and cool, and the power that the character seems to have seems very interesting. Maybe not from a gameplay perspective, but from a story perspective, they could take that in pretty cool directions. But last but certainly not least, remember Project Athia, or whatever, during the early reveals of the PlayStation 5? This is now a fully fledged project that they've announced with a little tiny brief teaser clip. And you got to see cool gameplay, traversal for like a minute that kind of reminds me of Warframe. But just cool fantasy, crazy over-the-top superpower shit. And the game now has an official title. It was Project Athia. It's now called Forspoken. Why have you forspoken me? In your hearts, forspoken me. Linking some things down in the description. We also have a random trailer for some game that popped up on my radar called Severed Steel, which just looks like a wild, over-the-top, fun first-person shooter, a mix between Super Hot and Bulletstorm. Two things I like very much, so if you do too, maybe watch this trailer. But I also linked some reading for you. Some homework. We talk about games so much. Read stuff. This is actually kind of adjacent to video games, but I still thought it was interesting. It is, The Verge did a really great breakdown. One of their reporters went to Osaka, Japan, to kind of get a preview of Super Nintendo World, the big Mario theme park, and it looks pretty awesome. He's got some good descriptions, some beautiful photographs, so if you're just interested in that type of stuff, go check it out. All that stuff, everything I talk about is linked in the description, of course. But in a cool last story, something I just wanted to highlight, that this may be old news for some of you. This was earlier in the week, but a Grand Theft Auto Online fan found a way to fix poor loading times on Grand Theft Auto Online on PC. Apparently he figured out there was some sort of bug or inefficiency in the code, and Rockstar verified it and said, yep, this is a way to improve the load times and fix the game a little bit. And it has now been part of their official patch release. Thanks to this guy, he was credited for it, and part of Rockstar's bug hunting program. They paid him $10,000. So that's just kind of what I wanted to end on. Good news. Just some smart gamer out there getting that bag. Good job, dude. But that's everything that we thought was pretty interesting going on this week. There's a lot, though. We had to cut some things. So I want to hear from you guys down in the comments what you're thinking about everything going on this week. What do you think about the Square Enix reveals? How much further do you think they can take the Avengers game, the Halo details we talked about, the new little snippets here and there? Do you find that interesting? Are you going to go to Super Nintendo World, the theme park, when it opens, whether you go in Japan or when it opens in the United States? What are you feeling? Let's talk about anything at all video games down in the comments. I've been trying to answer more comments down there lately. It still gets kind of crazy though, so if you want to yell at me directly, find me on my other YouTube channel, youtube.com/Jake Baldino, or on Twitter and Instagram. But thank you guys for coming around here. Every Friday we're here just to chat the news, shoot the shit with you guys. So if you feel like you got caught up, maybe we helped you out, clicking the like button is the best way you can help us out. And if you're new, consider subscribing, maybe hitting that notification bell, because we put out videos every single day. I'm Jake Baldino, though. I'll catch you on the Friday show before you buy videos. Thanks for watching. Pizza's on me.